Thanks for joining us for another afternoon of darts action live from Wigan. It is Players Championship 4. Yesterday saw a brand new title winner of a Pro Tour event. Ryan Searle stunning the world #1 Michael van Gerwen in the final.
Outside, Jamie's won the bull and will throw first. To
take his first PDC title and the £10,000 winner's check that goes with it. That's what they're all playing for today, but not just that, not just the money and the prestige of being a PDC champion, also it will aid their chances of qualifying 85 for the big TV events, the likes of the World Match Play in the summer, World Grand Prix over in Ireland in October, all the big tournaments, and of course the Players Championships finals themselves. The road to Minehead for that tournament has begun. They'll all be in Minehead next month for the UK Open.
123.
And of course the crowning glory, the World Championship in December. Scott Waites knows what it's like to be a world champion.
100.
He's won the BDO World Championship at the Lakeside twice in 2013 and 2016. Of course, he has actually won a PDC title, despite never having competed
140
professionally on the PDC circuit until now. Waites, the man throwing now from Halifax in West Yorkshire, was the Grand Slam of Darts champion.
135.
Back in 2010, that famous final victory over James Wade. Playing a familiar opponent in Jamie Hughes, last year's Czech Darts Open champion, his first PDC title. A win that saw him book his place at the match play.
90.
But it is their first meeting in the PDC. They've met 8 times in the BDO. And Scott Waites won the lion's share of those matches. He has a healthy head-to-head record. 6 wins to Hughes 2. Well, he's left an awkward attempt at double top in the end.
23.
And he just left himself with a little bit too much work to do. Waites will attempt to cash in, but he's made a similar mistake. And gets a dart at the bullseye.
49.
Does have the feeling of a first leg of a first match. Just trying to limber themselves up a little bit.
No score.
Well, that just clipped the wire. That's unfortunate. The point in direct contact with the wire, causing it to bounce back.
Game shot.
And Jamie Hughes will have to bounce back from being broken in the very first leg.
$180.
Well, solid response from Scott Waites. Takes the first leg against the darts and then kicks off on throw with a maximum.
54.
Those that have witnessed him
30.
Win all and everything in the BDO, and of course his successes at the Grand Slam will know that Scott Waites is a very, very capable player indeed.
93.
Earned himself a 2 card by coming through qualifying school as an outright winner on the final day.
70.
In the first couple of Players Championship events, he reached the last 16. Players Championship 2 last Sunday.
96.
And also cashed by winning his first match last Saturday, but was beaten in the first round here in Wigan 24 hours ago.
98.
And we'll be looking to put that right. Nobody wants to leave a weekend empty-handed without any cash in the pocket.
$39.
But he's making a good start here against Jamie Hughes, who himself was knocked out in the first round yesterday, so one of them will face that prospect.
57. $59.
Waites has choices here. Went for the bull. That leaves 41. That leaves 32.
34.
And that leaves Hughes with an outside chance. Double top. What a steal this would be.
120.
Over the top from Jamie Hughes. Threatening a 160 checkout, but that's now 5 darts missed at double in this match.
16.
Scott Waites hasn't punished. Well, he's been struggling in this department, but finally Jamie Hughes pins double top and breaks straight back.
$57. 45.
Matches going on around the arena. We'll try and
180.
bring you results as they come through, but you can follow them yourself via the Dart Connect website, dartconnect.com. All the information at the PDC website
140.
too. As Hughes rattles in a max. Michael van Gerwen will be looking to avenge that final defeat from yesterday and finally win a title
85.
in 2020. He's 3-0 up against Andy Bolton right now, the X Factor.
100.
The world champion Peter Wright 3-0 up himself as well against Wayne Jones. Saw plenty of the big names depart in the early rounds here yesterday. Rob Cross and Gerwin Price were
96.
two of them. Price is not in the field this afternoon. He's pulled out before play starts. That means Adam Huckvale has come in, along with Stu
85.
Wilson, replacing Nathan Derry, who also missed yesterday. And Andrew Gilding is in today in place of Max Hopp. Now then, double 16 for Hughes.
Game shot.
Well, once he has found his finishing range, he's now looking likely to stay in it. And Waites should have certainly taken
55.
the first couple of legs, but now finds himself behind.
$96. $100.
I mentioned that Rob Cross was knocked out in the first round yesterday. Well, he's up against it again today. 3-1 behind against Jeff Smith, who is
100.
proving to be a thorn in the side of many of the top pros this season already. Is Rob Cross going to be heading home early this afternoon?
97.
The story so far at these Players' Championship events. Gary Anderson beating Smith in the final of the first
59.
event. Nathan Aspinall with a brilliant performance on day 2 last Sunday. Then that maiden title for Ryan Searle yesterday when he beat the world #1 Michael van Gerwen, whose wait for a title in 2020 goes on. Another chapter in the story will be completed today, and then we are back next weekend in Wigan for another double header of Players' Championship action. Scott Waites is not going to threaten this 154, but he does have time on his side.
100.
Just leaves himself a simple 2-darter as Hughes looks to apply the pressure. He could fire in a maximum to leave double 3. I don't think he'll attempt it. We will never know now.
125.
Double 18.
Game shot.
That can be a tricky combination when you go that route, but Scott Waites pulled it off there. Sometimes the dart in the single 18 can actually act as a hindrance rather than a help, but you just saw the flight of that first dart flicked off and into the double.
39.
If you want to get involved in the conversation throughout the course of the afternoon, just use the hashtag you can see on your screen there, PDC Pro Tour.
100. 95.
Plenty of regular contributors to that hashtag. We thank you all. We do look at your tweets.
$58. $134. $60.
Well, the treble 20 looked like it was begging to be hit there, but Hughes might have to hit it twice in the next visit, depending on what Waites comes up with here.
70.
Well, that was a darting disaster for Scotty 2 Hotte, because the second stray dart, having salvaged a situation
63.
with one in the treble 20, has left him on a bogey.
$93. Game shot.
Nicely done by Jamie Hughes, who takes control of the tie.
$180.
Second time in this match that Waites has weighed in with a maximum in his opening salvo.
$100.
We're able to follow it up. We have had a
45.
handful of 9-darters already in these Players' Championship events. Also had one at the European qualifiers on Friday night. We had 2 yesterday, including one captured on the live stream, available to view on the PDC social media channels. Mensur Suljevic, the culprit.
100. $131. $85.
Or just perhaps one or two too many of those loose darts from Scott Waites that are causing him to have to take on bigger finishes than he needed to, or not have as a finish here on the ball.
Game shot.
And he's landed it. And that could be the turning point, because that is a break of throw. And Hughes now has the darts in his hand and has the throw to lead 5-2, and that would be
83.
a mountain to climb for the Yorkshireman.
$140.
It was Roby John Rodriguez who sent Waites out at this opening stage yesterday, but he did have a fantastic run to the last 16, as I mentioned, last Sunday, so I'll be hoping
45.
for something similar, but he's certainly got work to do. Impressive victories against Vincent van der Voort and Ian White last weekend.
140.
Jamie Hughes, a similar story. Lost out in the third round on the Saturday last weekend, but then made the quarter-finals on the Sunday. So both players hoping that they can get off with a win and then
130
pick up some momentum. It was Gary Anderson who
45
eliminated Hughes in round 1. Here 24 hours ago, Hughes looked to be in control, but now Waites is looking down at double 16.
70.
Had the freedom to go for that finish, incorporating 2 doubles, because Hughes is back outside the finishing range. But every time
58.
a player seems to get a grip on this match, they immediately loosen it. Have their hands prized away by their opponent. Well, you can't afford to do that, Scott, with Jamie Hughes on 130. Perfect. Perfect.
88.
Well, I thought that we were going to see that Jamie Hughes had indeed perfected the 130 checkout. It could have been a brace of 130s.
No score.
Well, that is an absolute disaster. Should have at the very least, have been getting a final dart at double in that visit. But it was wayward from Waites.
Game shot.
And now he'll be singing the blues because Hughes is just one leg away, having been gifted that one. We do have so far 2 men through to the second round. They are the world champion Peter Wright, who has dispatched of Wayne Jones in convincing fashion, 6-1 to the Scotsman there.
60.
And the Dutch number 2, Jermaine Watermena, has beaten Kieran Tehan 6-3.
121.
Michael van Gerwen, who was 3-0 up against Andy Bolton, has become embroiled in a battle against the X Factor. That match is currently tied at 4 apiece. We'll keep you informed
180
on the progress or lack of progress from the Green Machine, whichever case may follow.
140.
Waites fighting back. 3 visits in which he's hit 2 trebles.
100.
But the maximum has kept Hughes in the leg. Maybe not for long. Double 18.
Game shot.
He is deadly in that section. A 115 checkout. The best he's produced
44.
so far on this Pro Tour season is a 1-2-3 Scott Waites. The 1-3-0 that Hughes hit earlier in the match is the highest finish that he's managed so far this year.
134. $140. 137.
Nathan Aspinall has joined the duo that I mentioned earlier on in the second round, Watermena and Wright. Aspinall has beaten Barry Bates 6-3. Van Gerwen now back ahead against Bolton, 5-4.
125.
Waites really battling back here. But he might have to take this out.
140.
115 kept him in the match in the previous leg. Can't find the requisite treble this time.
64.
And Jamie Hughes should get at least one match start. 17 would give it him. And it's at double top.
Game
And
shot
in
and the
it
match.
goes, and out Scott Waites scores. A decent battle between the pair. Twisted and turned, but that 130 checkout and then a missed few doubles from Scott Waites in the following leg really cost him. Scotty 2 Hotte is leaving cold in Wigan this weekend. Out in the first round both days. It's Jamie Hughes that continues into round 2. We have 3 more first round matches here on Stream 2, and we'll be back in a few moments time with the next one between Christoph Kachuk and Wesley Harms.